Patrick Rooney here, oldschoolus.com. I want to talk a few minutes this morning about, of course, I'm always going to do another video and then something else will come up. This one came up and I think it's even more important than what I was going to do. So last night I am having a little pasta, having some food. I've been doing more and more barbell training lately, a lot of work in the central nervous system quite a bit. And it's, it's burning calories, making me hungry. So I'm doing a fair amount of eating lately. I gained about 5 pounds recently, mostly muscle, thank God, doing that. But so last night I'm eating, I'm hungry, and I ended up having myself a little bit of pasta with some cheese, right, and some sauce. Marinara, not meat sauce, just regular Italian stuff. And I had some food, it was good, but I had me a little taste for a little wine with it. I don't drink a lot of wine, I don't drink it that often really, but I've always had this romantic idea about wine that it's supposed to be this great food. It's been around since Bible times. You've heard of the French paradox, people that eat a lot of fatty food, but they don't have heart problems because they drink a lot of wine, or a certain amount of wine with it anyway. So, anyway, once in a while I get a little taste for wine. It never has done me well though, I have to admit. I have a lot of foods like that, where I will be eating them thinking that they're good, or some book told me that they're good, or somebody told me they're good, and they don't work for me, right? You ever have that before? So, and wine for me, it digests food, well, I guess it does that. But it's always a bit of a downer. Alcohol is a depressant, and alcohol has always worked to depress me. Bring me, I can feel it in my body. I can feel it. My body's kind of tuned at a certain point from exercise and natural foods and natural living. So when I do things that don't quite match up, my body will feel it. Therefore, it feels it when I drink alcohol. So, anyway, I've never had any success at all with wine, or any alcohol, really. But I'm stubborn, and I've tried many things that don't work, and maybe like you, I think, well, I just didn't try it enough, right? I didn't try it enough to make it work. I didn't try it long enough, or something. Some crazy idea that I believe in my mind about it, and it never works. So similarly, once in a while I'll get a taste for something. I got a little taste with my pasta last night. I have a little red wine. Okay, I'll have some. I don't even drink that much of it. I have maybe 3 ounces. Certainly not enough to get you buzzed. I don't want the buzz. I just want whatever benefit is in the medicinal value of it, so to speak. So I drank it in a few hours before bed. Went to bed, and it does what it always does. It'll knock you out quicker than normal, because you got some alcohol in your system. And they've done studies on this, it won't keep you asleep that long. You'll wake up at a certain point, and then you won't sleep. You won't go into your deep REM sleep. So it did that again to me. And I didn't get that great of sleep. Woke up, felt a little tired, went to shave, and while I'm shaving I realized, what I really seek in life, what I aspire to, so to speak, I guess you can call it a goal, is simply to be alive. To be alive. And that's one reason I got interested in raw foods many years ago. And it kind of runs a lot of what I do. I want to be alive. When you feel like you're too sleepy, or you feel like you're run down, or feel like you don't have your faculties at 100%, it's like a form of death. Or if you eat too much, right? You eat too much. Wrong foods, especially carbs, especially like starchy carbs or something, right? You eat too many of them and you feel like just passing out. You know what it's like at the Thanksgiving dinner, right? So to me, that's a form of death. And I've always sought life. And the same thing happened to me the other day with sugar. Sugar is another form of death. Well, in fact, sugar is in alcohol, right? I mean, wine has alcohol in it. White wine has more than red, but red still has alcohol in it. So sugar is a form of death. And I realized that the other day. I was looking at an ebook by Brooks Kubik, who is he does the dinosaur series on weightlifting. Dinosaur, like he tells you about the old time ways that the old school guys used to train, and they're great. I definitely recommend Brooks Kubik and his books. You can get it on Amazon or other places. But Brooks was talking about, he was laying out a meal plan, and it was very sensible. I was reading his ebook. And one of the things he said, and I've heard people say this before, but he said sugar is just the worst. You know, regular table sugar or any form of sugar, really. To him, he just said any form. He was even talking about honey. He says it's bad for you. And for me, I agree with him. It may not be for everybody, but I agree with him. I've come to the realization lately that every form of sugar that I'm eating, exception of sugar, you know, from fruit sugar, when you're actually eating fruit, right? It has the fiber in there, right, that slows down the absorption of the sugar. So that's natural stuff. Even that, I don't know if you can eat too much of that, but that's maybe another story. So he was talking about sugar and said, hey, don't eat these different forms of sugar. Go to your house and throw them out. And I'm totally agreeing with him right now. And so again, getting back to this idea of life, and also I saw a video as well a few days ago about sugar, and I forgot the name of it right now, but it's an old video, but I think it's called The Bitter Truth. The Bitter Truth. I watched it on YouTube. Very good stuff, very interesting stuff. These things like sugar, okay, which is in the wine too, and other things that can sap our lives from us, they're bad. I mean, if you want to live, you have to start walking away from the things that seem to give us life, right? Like a jolt of sugar. It's like a jolt of any drug. A jolt of a drug gives us that life, but it's very temporary. It's very temporary and it doesn't last. So if you want to have real life, you know, feel real life and live a real life, you have to make certain sacrifices, short-term sacrifices, to get rid of the crap that is making you high for a moment and dropping you down. And I guess you could extend that to whatever you want. It doesn't have to be just sugar or food. You can extend to all sorts of good feelings you get from stuff, or whatever case may be. Stuff that gives you excitement, right? Where people are always looking for some form of life or the other. And I totally get that. Everybody wants life. But most people look for life in the wrong, like looking for love in all the wrong places, right? If we're looking for stuff that is just short term, it ain't gonna work. It's not going to work, and it's going to be a letdown. So I think just looking, instead of choosing the short-term life, I think our horizon needs to be bigger, and we need to be looking for long-term life. That's, I think, the real key to this thing. So that's what I want to do in my life moving forward, and I've always been like this to a certain extent, but it's even more so now. It's even more so. Maybe it's the COVID crisis, maybe it's my age. I'm pushing 60 here, and I'm doing great in a lot of ways, but I see the ways that I still need to improve. And I still see the things that I need to get rid of. I still see the things that I need to get rid of. Now, I don't want to get rid of my life here, and I got to cross. I want to live life, not be taken from life. All right. Anyway, so yeah, long-term life, that's what we want. That's what I look for right now. I'm looking for that more than ever. More than ever, I'm looking for long-term life. And that's what I want for the people I work with. That's what I want for the people that I'm showing information to. I want them to have life and have it more abundantly, as Jesus said. And I want them to have the life, you know, that they want. But they need to they need to give up a little bit of short-term stuff for the long-term life. And but that's what I'm working with myself. That's what I'm working with people that I work with. That's what I want to. That's what I want to be working on, the central part. And it already has been the central part, but I want to make it even more the central part of my life. So I hope you enjoyed this. I just wanted to say a few words about that. If you enjoyed this video, go to my website, oldschoolus.com, and support me on Subscribestar. Go to Subscribestar and look under my name, Patrick Rooney, Rooney, and support me. I want to do this work 100% of the time. It's so critical right now. I want to do this all the time. And in order to do that, I need to raise enough money so I can do so. All right, thanks for being with me, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.